Welcome everyone to another episode of the VRCade Podcast. Today we have Karen from Arc Gaming Centre in British Columbia in Canada. How are you doing, Karen?
I'm doing good today.
Doing good.
I'm very excited to be here and talking to you guys today.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, we'll go into your arcade and how everything worked and how you started this. Thank you very much for coming on. And my co-host today is Chun. How are you, sir?
As always, hi, doing good. Also, really excited to talk about arcade stuff. Maybe we will learn something new today. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
always learn something new, right? That's what we try and
we
do.
usually do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's, and it's not only for us. The listeners also, I think, learn new stuff from time to time. So that's really good. Getting the community together and listening to what others do seems to help.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, right? That's one of the reasons we started this, is so that other arcades can get ideas and learn of what other places do and how they run. So we really appreciate you coming on, Karen. I'm just going to start with that sign in the background is making me very hungry. How about
Mini donuts.
yeah?
Well, I wish I could share them with you, but I don't think they'll get to you on time. They won't be hot anymore. But yeah, it's definitely something that we have here in our arcade.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like the poster as well. I was saying that House of Fear VR. It's a nice poster.
Yeah, one of my favorite games.
Have you played House of VR, Chun?
I did actually, yes.
Yeah, next time
Really cool game.
I'm in Switzerland, I'll definitely want to give it a go.
If you're not scared of horror games, of course, we should give
Oh
it a
yeah,
go.
I love horror. I love horror games.
Ah,
They're
Yeah.
great.
then you will have a great time.
Excellent, excellent. So, Karen, we spoke a few weeks back, and it was the first
Mhm.
time we actually spoke to each other.
Yes,
And
that's right.
yeah, we were just talking, and I was like, you had such great energy. I thought you'd be a great guest for the podcast. So I just asked you straight out on the first time we ever spoke. I was like, we have a podcast. I think you'd be great on there. And you agreed.
I know. I've never done a podcast before. I'm learning. I'm definitely going to learn lots today. But yeah, it was really nice talking to you, and you kind of surprised me with that, and I was really excited. Really excited to be able to join you.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a decision under pressure, and you just like, yeah, sure.
Well, I figured I could always just email back and say, yeah, no, not going to do it. Sorry.
Shall we start with what was your first VR experience?
um, well, that would probably be, I would say, probably 6 years ago, like
Yeah.
2018 or 19. My oldest son bought his own headset. And you
Yeah.
know what? To be honest, I don't even know which kind of headset he bought. I was going to actually ask him that, and I forgot.
Okay.
But he said, "Mom, you got to try this," and puts on Beat Saber for me, and I was hooked. I didn't get to use
Nice.
it very often because, of course, it's his, and he was always using it. And the occasional time we would play, and to be honest, I really hadn't done much with VR or even thought about it until years later when we bought this arcade.
Cool.
Ah,
And
cool.
how how did the decision come to buy this arcade
But
and now
That's
owning
an
your?
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. Did you
yeah,
just
it's
decide
I'm not.
overnight or?
No, there's definitely a story. And yeah, why did this sort of non-gamer person buy an arcade? Um, about a year and a half ago, my middle son was looking for a job, and we noticed that the local VR arcade was hiring. So he went down and applied, and he's a little shy, but the gentleman that owned it, he gave him a shot and hired him, and he just loved it, absolutely loved it. So back in, I'd say maybe July or August this past year, he came home one day and said, "Mom, I'm going to lose my job. He's selling the arcade." And at first, like, well, that doesn't mean you're losing your job. Just, let's just wait and see what happens. I mean, the new owner, I'm sure, will keep you on. And then we just sort of, I finally kind of went into the place and started looking at it. I've been looking for a business to take on, and I could just see the possibilities in this place. And it was also a possibility to be able to work with my son and keep him doing something he really loved. So we looked at it and made the crazy leap and decided to buy
So, what were you doing before you were?
Renovating a cottage. I don't know much about it. Actually, I've been a commercial embroiderer for years. I run my own business. It's just a small hobby business, but I've been doing that for about 10 years. And it's due to COVID, it kind of slowed down. And the company that I did a lot of work for actually ended up during COVID bringing their own machine in. So I was no longer really contracting for them. So my work had kind of dried up. So yeah, we had been living in town, but we actually live on a farm about 15 minutes out of town. And that's really, honestly, I was renovating the cottage that was part of the property. So for my husband and I to live in. And then this came up. So I have to say, the bedrooms haven't been renovated yet because that's the second floor. We hadn't got there yet because now I'm so busy with this place.
Well, that's really good though, right? At least you're busy.
Yes, yes, I love it. Yeah.
Was the previous owner already selling the mini donuts, or
No,
did you guys came
no.
up with the idea?
We came up with, so the first thing sort of that I saw when I went into his arcade was all he really was selling for snacks was like chips and chocolate bars and pop, cans of pop. And I thought, oh, it's an arcade. We need to have a concession stand. And then I was like, then we need to have something that just not everybody has. So I found, because of course I would assume you guys would have mini donuts at the fairs or there, like that you get them in the little food trucks.
Hmm.
Yes.
So we all love mini donuts. So I found a place. It's actually just it's that little toaster that's back there. So
Yeah.
I get them frozen, I thaw them, and then I run them through the toaster and then sprinkle them with the sugar, and they just about as good as fresh out of the truck. Yeah. Okay, they
Nice.
are as good as fresh out of the truck.
Do you sell a lot of donuts?
It comes and goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll sell a lot. This past weekend, actually, I think we sold one dozen, but there's other weekends where I'll sell 10, 12 dozen donuts. So yeah, it's getting there. People are getting to know we have them. My hope was that, oh, that's the place we can go if we want to get mini donuts, and then they'd come in and see everything else we have to offer.
Ah, okay. Because I saw that you are in a shopping center, right?
That's correct. We're in one of the local malls here. Our malls are quite small
Mm-hmm.
because we are only our city only has 20,000 people in it. So there's two malls and each one is quite small. But we were really lucky when we bought the arcade. He was in the mall, but he was sort of in an outside location, which only had outside doors,
Right.
no windows, so no one could see what was in it. So unless you really were a gamer, you didn't really come in and see it. And then one of the bigger tenants here in the mall retired at the end of October. So the mall offered us this spot inside for pretty much the same price as we would have had to pay at the other place. So we said absolutely, and it's been incredible. I mean, that I definitely know that we're doing as well as we are because we're now inside the mall with the big windows that everyone can see in. Yeah, we even get little grandparents taking shots of us, pictures, and they're saying to their kids, "Hey, you've got to come down and check this place out."
Yeah, I'd love to have a place like that when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Definitely yes. So tell us more about the setup that you
That
guys
we
now
have.
have in the
Yeah.
arcade, and what changed
Absolutely.
maybe during this time that you are now the new owner at this place?
Sure thing. So, because we're such a small town, we can't really run an arcade with just the VR headsets. We had to, and he was doing this as well. Like we had to offer some other options as well. So we have, I'll go through my spiel. We have PC gaming, we have PS4s, we have Nintendo Switch. We just got an
Oh,
I'm not the techie or the gamer one. We also have a retro arcade, one of those arcades that has like 1,000 games in it, so you can play the old stuff. And then we have a driving simulator. It's not a VR one, but just it's it's got the steering wheel and everything.
Yeah.
So we've sort of with our arcade, we're really trying to push it as you can come in and play VR, or you can come in and just have what we call a day pass, so you can play everything else in the arcade, and that's $15 a day. So it's a price that is affordable for everyone. And then we also have the combo pack, so you can come in, play an hour of VR, and then stay for the rest of the day. So that's sort of how we've put it, and it's really working. We're really getting lots of people in. And of course, we do all the birthday parties and corporate events just like any other VR arcade would do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you have to be open whenever the mall is open, basically?
That's a good question for sure. We originally he wasn't, but yes, when we took this spot, they said you have to be open more. So we were able to close on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I have to be open by 11 a.m. every day. So I do come in and spend a fair amount of time, as you would know, in a VR arcade. You don't really get a lot of business from say 11 to 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's usually the evenings. But yeah, I do have to be open from 11. And then we are lucky we have an outdoor entrance at the back of our location as well. So we can be open after the mall is closed as well,
nice.
which is really handy. So we're open till 8 every night that we're open.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because do you think that you get more footfall now, basically, because of where you are compared to
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have people that come in and say, "Oh, I was a little too intimidated to go into that, or I just never knew what was going on in there."
Yeah.
And because they were just metal doors, right? So you just really, and then you'd open it up, and he chose to keep it darker in there because he had the big screen that would be where he would project what each headset was doing. So we've gone the other way, and we've put monitors at each of our headsets, so we don't need it to be dark in order for people to see what's going on. So then we can keep it lighter, and then that's just a little more inviting for people to come in.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see on your website that you also have some esports experiences that you offer at your place.
We don't. We're working on it. Well, we might. I'm not saying that we won't, but that's our old website, and we're actually in the process of building a new website. So esports might be something we do eventually. Again, I don't know much about it, so it would have to be one of my kids that starts that up. We are starting this coming weekend. We're going to do a Smash Bros tournament. But yeah, as for full-on esports or anything, we're not really quite doing that, at least not yet.
I mean, that sounds pretty much esporty to me already. When you have,
Well, there you go. Okay, then good.
some people over, and then you have a tournament and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be, really big, but if you already have a small group, I think, I don't know, in my book, that counts as an esport tournament. So
Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't even know what esports is.
Basically, I define it as a competition in games. Let's say it like that.
Oh, okay.
There are your traditional sports. I mean, you can have, a football tournament just at your local stadium or whatever. But then you can also just have a tournament at your arcade where you just described the Smash tournament that you guys are planning, and that's really cool.
Oh, well, then that's good.
What's your current favorite games? I know you played on Beat Saber, and what are you playing at the moment?
Oh, well, I tend to like to play in the escape rooms are my favorite. Oh, actually, I'm not gonna lie. My kid put me in Arizona Sunshine yesterday or the day before, and oh my God, I loved it. It's our most popular game here by far. And I'm put the kids in, I get them into the same room and everything, and I watch it, and what's the appeal of this game? Okay, I played it. I loved it. So I can't wait to play again. But other than that, I'd have to say the escape games, and my favorite by far is Alice from RV.
Yeah, I got to experience Alice when I went to the arcade in Switzerland. I played with Chum for a bit, and I was like, "This is really cool." And
Oh yeah,
yeah, he was like, You do realize I know the answers to every riddle because I've played this a million times and seen people play it, and then it took the fun away, and I just said I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, when I play the escape rooms with my son, I mean, he just goes in, and he's just always 2 or 3 steps ahead. He's like, come on, and I'm like, wait, could I just solve one thing, please? And of course, I love Plush Rush. That's I love that game because that's why you called me in the first place, and I think that game is just fantastic. Unfortunately, the kids always want to play Arizona Sunshine, and they look at me like I'm, but I'm like, it's such a good game, and when I get kids into it, they actually really like it.
Oh, that's great to hear. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also the feedback that we get usually, that once the players are in the game, they really love it. But when you
Absolutely.
just describe them what is going on in the game, they don't really get it, maybe. They cannot imagine how it could be fun, or there's action in the game, but then there are also toys to this things even mixed together. But once they're inside, they're having a blast, and it's really cool to hear.
Yeah. What I like about it, particularly though, is that a lot of these kids want to play shooters.
Yeah.
But mom doesn't want them to play Arizona Sunshine or Propagation or something like that. Plush Rush is a way that we can get them to play a shooter, but mom and dad are on board, right?
Yeah.
They think, oh, okay, well, yeah, that one works. It's a safe environment sort of thing. So yeah.
For sure. I've spoken to a few arcades, even this week, last week, arcades are like, all the kids want to do is shoot zombies. And then, but once they get them into the Plush Rush and stuff, people really like it. It's just getting the people into the headset. So
Exactly. Yeah.
And also continuing the talk with the games and stuff, what kind of licensing platforms do you use?
We use RV and we use Synthesis. Synthesis runs the whole arcade, pretty much. And yeah, we really like it. I mean, it was a bit of a learning curve because I've never actually dealt with anything like this before. I mean, I'm computer savvy, but just figuring out all the different ways that it works. But yeah, we really like it, and it's and the guys there are great because I have sent them many emails. Help, help, help. Yeah.
yeah, because you said to me, I remember when we first set this up, you're like, I'm not very tech savvy. I don't even know what a Discord is. And I remember I was like, oh, okay. But your son helped you set everything up, and now you're a whiz at Discord. So
Oh,
you've learned something new
there we
already.
go. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'd say whiz, but I'm seeming to I got onto the call and I seem to be working it okay.
Yes, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Definitely. Do you have a big library at your arcade? Or do we just say it's still, a little bit on the smaller side, and you're
Um,
just adding stuff from time to time?
I think, well, because we're on the Synthesis platform, of course, we have access to so many. I would say that there's probably, okay, besides the escape rooms, because the RV escape rooms, of course, they're all in the library. But for Synthesis, there's probably maybe 10 to 15 games that are played regularly.
Hmm.
I'm constantly looking through the library going, oh my goodness, I think this one looks great, but they'll never play it because they want to play Arizona Sunshine, right? So it's like, yeah, I'd say our library's probably for the other games about 15, and then I've got all my, you can only see the House of Fear, but we actually have all the RV posters for all their
Oh,
escape
nice.
rooms up here. And so there's probably 10, 12 of them, I think. So yeah, that's about sort of what we're running.
Nice. And what about your people that come in? Is it mostly, would you say, newcomers to VR? Do you get a lot of kind of repeat customers? What's the percentage of?
Excuse me. Well, of course. So, so it's only been about 4 months that we've owned it.
Mhm.
So I'm pleased to say that we are definitely getting some return customers. We have a
Excellent.
few people. My favorite, a man and his little son that comes in, and they played Plush Rush for the first few weeks, like religiously. And so it's nice that we do definitely are having regulars now.
Great.
But with the new location in the mall here, it's definitely we're getting lots of walk-ins, people that come in. I spend a lot of time, of course, just explaining what we're doing.
Yeah.
What is VR, and of course explaining that it's a virtual reality escape room. No, we don't have all these escape rooms in the back. But yeah, it's kind of a mix, and it's nice to have the regulars.
I
That's
also do get these questions, people asking, okay, so you guys offer like 6 escape room games, right? Yes. So can we book just 3 or 4 of them together? And then you have to explain, I don't know what you're thinking, but that's only one room. And, we can just change the settings so that you are in a whole different world. But I think it's really something that is not clear if you're not in this VR world, that, you have a escape room that you can just change whenever you want.
Mm-hmm. That's and most of the time they're like, oh, well, that's interesting. And I explain, like, it's like an escape room, but they can
Yeah.
just do so much more because it's like a fantasy room as well, right? So then usually it's just, it's just some people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. I can't wear that headset, or, I'm too old for that. But most people get quite interested in it. And then, as I said, since we have the posters with all the beautiful artwork, um, they do get quite drawn in and they want to try it.
Do you hear that a lot, that people say, I'm too old for this, and can you still make them try something? Or is it, they just completely block everything that you're going to tell them, and they just not going to try anyway?
how do you overcome that objection?
Well, I have definitely. We had actually this weekend we had a 76-year-old lady try it. She was awesome.
Awesome.
And we have another somewhere in his 70s grandpa that just loves it. I try. I mean, I'll say, if you can see, or we'll offer them a chair. Like, if you're a little bit concerned, you can sit in a chair. And I mean, the escape rooms you can certainly do in the chair. Just try to talk them into it. Some of them, they're never going to believe you, but most of them do sort of come around, and we'll try, or at least they'll sit and watch maybe their grandchildren play, and then I'll talk to them a little bit, and, well, maybe next time you want to try. And I mean, they don't always come back and try next time, but they'll say, oh, maybe I'll try it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I think we also say something along the same line when we have some elderly people just visiting us and don't know if that is even something for them or not. But I think it's really interesting that you just put on the headset and you're in a whole different world. You don't have to solve anything. You're just there to, soak in the atmosphere and just be in awe. And that's also fine. You don't have to solve until the end and, escape, but you can still experience something special that you can, yeah, take with you for like ever, right? So I don't know
Well,
what you guys are telling,
yeah.
but yeah, we say also something along the same line. You don't have to solve everything. You don't have to, get the gist of the game, but just just try it. Just feel how it goes, and that's it.
Yeah, I put my dad into Google Earth, and he just loved it. And that's like, it's just being able to experience the reality that's in there, and the expanse. Um, and he really liked that. I mean, that's what he tells when he sees other. Oh yeah, I looked at Google Earth. It was really great. So you just have to get them to be brave enough to put it on and try it.
Yeah,
What's the
definitely.
sorry,
No, was not going to say anything special. Sorry, Serge.
what's it? Well, I was just going to ask you what the funniest reaction that you've seen with someone who's put VR on for the first time, like some memorable.
Oh, oh, I don't know if I have one.
Yeah.
I just the one, I think maybe just that old gentleman that I was earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it is 70s ish, and so he came in with his two sons. So they're whatever in their 40s or whatever, and they choose Arizona Sunshine. So I'm thinking, this is just not going to happen. This old man is just not going to. Okay, whatever though, if that's what they're going to choose. And so he goes over there, and so we have 4 wireless and 4 wired. So we put them into the wireless, and he's in there. And from the second he put it on, just like his shoulders were up, and he's like, shoot, 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 shoot. And he got, actually, I think he got so crazy, like he he came out of the room, and we had to like put him back in, and he just loved it. And actually, to take the reaction further, it was funny because of course we sell gift cards for Christmas. So coming up to Christmas, his son comes in. I got to buy some cards for my grandpa or for my dad. I got to give him some. Okay, so I sell him some. No word of a lie. 2 days later, in comes grandpa. I gotta buy them all for my family. And so I said, boy, that's going to be interesting. They're all going to be opening the same gift from each other, but that's great. And so yeah, that was they're a fun family for sure.
Yeah, so that's a testament to how good you are at doing what you do. So that's great.
Oh, thanks.
And now we were talking about the software, but on the hardware side of your VR business, what kind of headsets do you use? Do you have some special setup maybe, or yeah,
Well,
just
yeah. So we have 4 Quest 2s, and then we have again, I'm not so technical, but we have 3 Valve Indexes and 1 Vive. Yeah, and that's just what he had operating. So what we find, obviously the wired ones are the better headsets, but we have a lot of kids that come in. So we throw the kids into the Quests because that's just so much easier for them, so much more freedom. We had the one little boy that comes in, the Plush Rush little boy. We were full on all the quests, so I put him into one of the valves, and oh my god, he had the thing so twisted up that if I hadn't come over, he would have been pulled off the ground because he was just like so into it. So that's what we find really works. I really like having the ability to put the younger kids into the wireless and have them have more freedom to move around. So yeah, that's.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, what's the minimum age? Someone's asking in the comments.
Oh, we will put them in from 8 up, but at the 8 and 9-year-olds, parents have to be here and be agreeable that they can go in. We don't like to put them in under 8 years. Just it's supposed to be not so good for them. And again, with the 8-year-olds, 8 and 9-year-olds, we wouldn't let them play for 2 or 3 hours or anything like that. They're sort of limited, and yeah.
Oh, okay. And just a real quick one, Classy Baddie says she loves your glasses, so cute, with a little cat emoji with hearts. There you go.
Oh, well, thank you. My little pink glasses. That's so I can see you guys. Otherwise.
How was your Christmas time, and obviously the mall's going to be extra busy. Was it just manic in your arcade?
It was actually.
Yeah.
Because so we had moved. As I said, we were in the other location before, and then we'd moved into this one, and we opened this one December 1st. So our November, basically, so we purchased the place right at the end of October. So November, I just let the boys that were already running it, my son and one other boy, and just let it run how it always ran. And it was quiet, right? Like it wasn't. So I kind of figured it would sort of stay quiet. But as soon as we moved into the mall with the extra traffic, and of course selling gift cards too, it was, and especially the week, the way our Christmas break started this year, I think they were out a week before Christmas. So everyone was looking for something to do, particularly while they're shopping. So it was manic in here for that week right before Christmas. It was just beyond my wildest dreams how busy we were. And then of course the week between Christmas and New Year's was so dead. And then I'd go home to my husband, oh my, we've made a mistake. That was our busiest time. We're never going to be busy again. But we actually have been. Like it's been the next, January and February, which are quite consistently slower months in retail environments, have actually stayed very steady. And we've managed to stay very close to the business that we had for Christmas. We've managed to sort of maintain it. So that's been really good, which again is probably because we're in this mall now. So, or where people can see us.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, I've spoken to so many arcades, and the ones in the malls tend to do quite well because the foot flow is so important. I spoke to an arcade last week who moved from a central location to a less central location, and it didn't kind of work out because they didn't get the foot
Oh,
flow.
yeah.
It's so important to have that signage and the walking traffic, because if you're in the middle if you're not in a good location and people aren't seeing you, although there might be thousands of people out there who want to play a VR game in an arcade, if they don't know you're there, then it's a tough one getting the right location.
Yeah, this has definitely been great. And so the way where our little city is located, we have another larger city. I don't know. Anyone that ends up watching this from Vernon, forgive me, but I think there's about 40,000 people maybe there. And then so that's about 40 minutes away. And then we have two opposite directions. We have two larger 100,000 plus cities that are within an hour, so that if people didn't know we were here, it's not hard for them to just drive 40 minutes because each of those cities has VR arcades in them. So it's nice now that people know we're here. They're not going to feel they have to drive to those other locations. They'll stay here. And I had someone actually just on Sunday that came in, and it's not a VR arcade, but in Kelowna there's a place called Scandia, and they're one of the redemption arcades, and they have mini golf and go-karts, which wouldn't be running now, but all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she said, well, we were going to go there for my son's birthday, but then I all of a sudden saw on Facebook that you guys were here, and so we chose to come here instead, and it was like, yes, thank you. So it's getting out there. People are hearing about it and choosing to stay local instead of driving to the other towns. Yeah.
And who's in charge of your social media? Is that your son who does all that?
It's a little bit of me and a little
Oh.
bit of my youngest son.
Yeah.
So he's the one that did the video for us that he just quickly put together. But he's definitely the most social media savvy in our family. So he's been working a bit at getting that out for us. Oh,
Sorry,
there
guys,
he
I
is.
don't know what happened there.
Welcome back.
We weren't talking about you.
Bear me 1 second, everyone. Slightly technical hiccup.
Sure. So we are stopping as well, right?
We're back. There you go.
Oh, we're back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry if you're watching live. There's a little hiccup there.
Nothing was missed, but I was actually going to ask you about the name of the arcade or gaming center. Did you guys come up with it, or did you just take over the name as well?
We took over the name. We sort of back and forth a little bit. We weren't 100% sure we liked it at first, but then absolutely we realized it grew on us, and it's just one we didn't want to lose. I mean, there definitely were customers that he had that knew where the place was. I mean, he had been operating it for about 5 years, so we didn't really want to lose those people. And we do like it, the Arc, and of course we're calling it a gaming center because we do have everything else in here, right? Not just the VR. So so that's we can't take any credit for the name. He came up with it, the old owner.
Does the old owner still pop in from time to time?
Actually, no, because he lives in Alberta now. He'd actually moved just prior or just after he hired my son. He had moved back to Alberta, or not. He's from here, but he had an opportunity in Alberta and moved out there, and had hoped that the two boys would be able to run the arcade. But and they can certainly run the arcade, but the marketing and that part of it was not as easy for them to do. So we talk a lot. He's obviously had to help me a tremendous amount to figure everything out. And he says he is going to come by for a visit in the summer because I think his a lot of his family or some of his family still live here, so he'll come by and see what we've done. I hope he likes it.
I take it he won't be paying for his go on the headset
No.
and a dozen donuts, I think, as well.
He could
Just to
probably have
sweeten
a
the deal.
dozen donuts. Yeah.
So what would you say is unique to the new Arc Gaming Center? Do you have, anything that you do alter just differently than others, or?
Well, I think definitely the fact that we offer everything else. All the other gaming for like other VR arcades. Oh, let's just take birthday parties for example. When you come in for a birthday party here, you get your hour of VR, and then we book you in for another 2 hours to play on everything else. So the people can come and they. We were originally built a party room, but we actually really like having the tables just out. Like if you've seen the one, if he's played the video there,
Mhm.
they just sit at the tables out there. So the birthday party, they get a table to themselves reserved. And then the kids can just come and they eat. When the pizza comes in, they come and eat, but they can just keep running around to all the different games. And I think it just makes for an even better birthday experience because it's not just the VR,
Yeah.
which is, of course, the highlight. Although surprisingly, we have had some parties in where the kids just want to go play Fortnite. They don't want to play anything else. And I'm like, really? Like,
Surprise.
you can do that at home. But for some of them, they don't have the gaming computers that we have. So we do have a lot of kids or siblings. They only have one computer at home. So now they can actually play the game together. So I think that's sort of what's different from other VR arcades. And of course, we have a full concession. Well, we have chicken strips and fries, mini donuts, nachos, popcorn, sort of stuff like that. Slushies. Can't see my slushie machine, but we have slushies, and they sell like crazy.
Nice.
Not allowed near the computer systems, but the kids still they really like them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can also, maybe get some ideas from your arcade and how you're doing business. And I'm definitely seeing a trend there that really makes sense. The whole experience of playing everything you want to, not just VR, and then also the food, the snacks, the drinks. It really makes sense, and it feels like this. What was it called before when you were describing the mini donuts where you can get them fairs, something like that?
Oh yeah,
Right?
we call them like we have a fall fair here that
Exactly.
we have
Yeah.
every year. Yeah,
You,
so
you
they can have those. Yeah,
get a feeling like that. That totally makes sense.
yeah.
Um, you have a really special case because you kind of took over the arcade, and I was wondering, did you had some technical hurdles when you were taking over, or was everything smooth sailing?
We yes, definitely had some hurdles. The for myself, of course, not being a techie, just learning how to turn the headsets on and make the game play for the kids. I think I have it now. After 4 months, I'm pretty good. Except, as you know, especially the Quest, they don't always want to talk to the computer, and they're trying to figure all that out. And I'm panicking. So my son has been fantastic. He comes in all the time, even when he's not working. Um, he'll come and hang out so he can help me. But one of the biggest technical hurdle that we probably would have had in taking over the arcade was moving it because we came from the one location to this new one. Fortunately, my husband is very, very, very tech savvy, and he was able to string all the Ethernet cables and everything. But that was huge. Moving not only the 8 computers for the VR system, but we have another 7 set up for the PC gaming, all the PS4s, all the consoles and everything. Definitely just getting it all laid out, making sure the wires were where they were supposed to be. And it was right down to the wire. When you watch those home improvement shows or, the kitchen nightmares or where they're right. It was right to the last minute. We had a birthday party booked on December 1st, and we were
Wow.
still trying to get the Wi-Fi running the party was booked for 3, and we were still getting the Wi-Fi, trying to get the Wi-Fi up at like 1:30.
Wow.
And I was just, yeah. In fact, we only had 4 headsets the first day, and then the second day, we had an 8-person birthday party the next morning with only 4 headsets running, and then it just happened to be the Fortnite. They did a Lego thing on Fortnite or
Oh
something,
yeah, I remember
and
that. Yeah.
yeah. So we're trying to put the 4 kids into VR. Well, the other 4 all want to play this Fortnite game, but nobody can get on it because, and I don't understand that. I was just like, oh my God, the computers aren't working or something. But finally we realized, no, it's this big event and pretty much nobody can get on it. But why is it running right now during my birthday party when I wanted all these kids to be able to play? Which actually led us right into, we ended up getting Xbox Game Pass for all of the other computers because really all they could play was just these Epic games.
Mm-hmm.
And if Fortnite wasn't working, they had nothing else to play. So that actually was a good thing to happen because then we've upgraded everything. So all of the PCs, they can all play on Xbox Game Pass, play whatever they want. So that's the technical hurdles, you learn from them.
Yeah.
And you go from there. Yeah. So it was good. We're here, we're running, so we're happy.
I think it's great the way that you didn't really have any idea about technology and you just threw yourself into it and you just learning as you go along. Just play it by ear.
I'm sure all these kids love this. To them, old ladies coming up and, oh, here, let me sign you into Fortnite. And I'm, but then they'll turn to me and go, oh, well, how do I move this guy and that guy? And then I go, Rylan, come and help me because I don't know how to play the game. But yeah, I'm willing to learn, and I'm learning bits and pieces of all of the games.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm sure you've been an inspiration for a lot of mums out there to just go and do it and learn as you go along.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, and don't be afraid to take that step, right? Like it was scary, and like I said, between Christmas and New Year's, I thought I had made the biggest mistake, but just keep going, and tomorrow's always another day, and as I said, we've found something that's working, and we'll just sort of compound on that and see where we can go next.
Nice.
Yeah. And speaking of next, what are the plans for yourself, for the arcade in the future? Are you trying to expand on something?
Yeah, well, still just getting the balance right. We're getting there, but I want to bring in the school children after school to come down and start hanging out, stuff like that. Another thing we're doing is it's called Clutivity. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like an escape room scavenger hunt geocaching kind of game. So it's an outdoor sort of game. And where we live, spring, summer, and fall, it's just beautiful here. We don't get a lot of rain, so we wanted to present something that people could do outside. The old owner had been looking into it, so we contacted them back. So that's something that we're going to be adding another something, because this might be something we can get the older people that maybe don't want to put the headset on. They might want to try to. So you take like an iPad with you and a little action pack, and you go out into the city and play that game. So that's something that we're going to add. And then I'd also want to be going with the VR. We're going to add free roaming. We want to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we definitely want to do the free roaming. We've got a little spot sort of that we figured out. We're not going to have a big free roam area. I think it'll be 20 by 20 feet, 20 by 20 feet. But it looks like most of the free roams, that's sort of like you can work with that size. So I think that's definitely somewhere where we're going to go, because I think that's, as more and more people have the headsets at home, we got to provide something that is an experience that they can't get at home. So that's
definitely, because that's what everyone who's been in it pretty much is saying. They're going for free roam, and it seems to be the future, to be honest, because the more and more people are getting Quest 2s, Quest 3s, and everyone, like you say, can do stuff at home, and it just kind of makes it less likely they're gonna go into an arcade. So free roam would be would be great. Do you have any idea of when you're looking to get that done?
Soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'd like to have it done before the end of March, like within the next month.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll just start so because of the way our arcade is set up, we'll basically, I'm thinking of having like free roam Fridays or something to start, and because we'll have to move stuff in order to make it. We'll have the boundary all set up, and
Yeah.
and then that creates the demand too, where you've got to come on Friday if you want to come and do it, and so hopefully, and maybe because we have spring break for the kids coming up the last 2 weekends or weeks in March. So if we could get something sort of going for then, we're also running day camps through the spring break to get them in. I have to do a zombie day camp because they all want to shoot zombies. So they'll get to do like their hours of VR, and then we'll do some zombie, I don't know, a zombie escape room or something, and we'll make a zombie food, all sorts of stuff like that, because they'll be here for a couple hours. Yeah. So we're just looking at, as I said, because we're such a small town, we just have to advertise all sorts of different things so that this place can be for everybody.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then you get a feeling of what works and what people are looking for as well at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Well, good luck with everything. We really appreciate you coming on, Karen. It's been great. It's been really fun. Even before we started going live, we were just having a laugh. It's great.
Yeah, no, actually, I've really enjoyed it. Now I think I like podcasting.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You were slightly nervous, I remember.
I was.
Yeah. But I think...
Yeah,
you've done great. I think you're a natural. You should do some more podcasts.
Well, maybe I'll start the ARC podcast.
There you go. And
but yeah, I mean, you guys have been great. You've made it easy to talk to, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And yes, excellent. And thank you very much, Chan, as well.
Thank you as well. It was a pleasure, and
it has been a pleasure.
Really insightful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks. Thanks for having me to share. Yeah.
And I'm sure you're an inspiration. You'll be the inspiration for people who watch us back to go and just take a chance and just do it.
Yep, do that. Go out there, take a chance.
There you go. So that's the ARC Gaming Centre in Salmon Arm, right?
That's right, Salmon Arm.
In British Columbia. So if you're ever in that neck of the woods, just pop in and say hi, get some donuts.
Yeah, please do. Oh,
Excellent.
Look, I have a call.
We will be back on the 6th of March, which is a Wednesday, slightly different day, but it's just a one-off. We'll be on a Wednesday with Nidal, who is from Base Station VR, and he also has a VR podcast to do with arcades. So that's going to be a very interesting one. So be sure to tune in. If you've enjoyed this show, then consider liking and subscribing, and we will see you very soon. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.